Good morning, everyone, or afternoon. My name is Aban Ali, and today I'll be walking you through our project, Turning Waste Around Green MSW for a Sustainable Tomorrow. Our project explores two strategic waste management initiatives aimed at improving DevCo's environmental impact and financial efficiency. Meet the team. We got Mohammed Salman, Ayan Khan, Aban Ali, which is me, and Ziad Mohammed. So this is our table of contents, executive summary, introduction, approach and methodology, findings, and references. Okay, so this is our executive summary. So what is green MSW treatment? MSW mostly comes from households, but also includes some commercial and industrial waste. And we propose two main initiatives. Green MSW treatment using incineration and variable frequency drives to reduce waste volume and energy use. And paper and plastic waste reduction, focusing on recycling rather than exporting waste. These align with Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, which targets reducing 278 million tons of CO2 by 2030. We also assess cost efficiency, MAC impact, and NPV from recycling revenues. We propose a comprehensive green MSW plant and related waste policy. The plant's purpose: increase waste processing efficiency while reducing environmental damage, and the key features include energy-saving variable frequency drives, also known as VFDs, reduced exports of plastic and paper waste. Using VFDs lowers operational costs and carbon emissions. Combined with stronger local recycling, this project helps DevCo retain resources and reduce global waste transport impact. Okay, so this is our approach. So step one is planning. We asked, how can this fit into DevCo's operations, or what financial models are needed? Step two, data collection. We identified missing data and relied on credible sources like IPCC, Vision 2030, and the World Bank. Step 3 and 4, analysis and conclusion. We used Excel models to calculate NPV, CO2 abatement, and MAC, and this let us draw evidence-based conclusions about feasibility and profitability. Okay, so the findings for green MSW treatment, CO2 abatement, we assumed 1 ton of MSW equals 1 ton of CO2 emitted. Post-treatment emissions dropped significantly, proving that the initiative is environmentally effective. We considered that the standard emission factor for incineration in the BAU CO2 model to be 1.5x of energy usage. So from a cost standpoint, the capex was 820 million Saudi Arabia riyals. The total cost estimated for this work was 160 million SAR, which came from figuring out the difference between the company's capex and the funds it received from asset sales. And the operating expenses, OPEX, was over 15 years, was 216.2 million Saudi Arabia riyals, and the net OPEX was 1.27 billion Saudi Arabia riyals after adjusting for revenue. And despite this large scale, the carbon and cost savings are pretty clear. So our second initiative, paper and plastic waste reduction, the annual BAU emissions were 489,336.4 TCO2e, This initiative reduces emissions by 1,309 tons per year. Okay, so you may ask how? 850 tons of paper and plastic diverted from landfills yearly. Recycling 1 kg of plastic saves 1.08 kg of CO2, and recycling 1 kg of paper saves 0.46 kg of CO2. The capex only being 419,620, which is pretty good.
So we have the energy cost, which is 108,000, which powers recycling machines. Then we have the labor cost, which is 98,000, which pays and trains staff. Maintenance, which is 21,000, keeps machines running smoothly. And we have consumables, which is 7,000, includes packaging and blades. And then we have waste disposal savings, which is 55,000. It reduced landfill costs, offset expenses. So here's a simulation analysis of the high risk, medium risk, and low risk. Firstly, we have high risk, which CO2 emissions exceed legal limits. So then medium risk, we have failure to reduce single-use plastic, lack of public support, and the machine malfunction or outdated tech. And for the low risk, we have delayed funding, data error, or reporting failure. So now we have the sensitive analysis. The capacity is 50 tons. Cost per ton ranges from 14,000 to 19,000. The total investment needed ranges from 700 million to 950 million. The insight, higher per cost, higher cost per ton equals significantly higher total capital required. So here we have the base reduction, which is plastic cut by 30%, is scalable to 90% for wider use, and the impact is even small increase in reduction sharply cut CO2 emissions as shown in the linear graph. So here for the scenario analysis, the investment by 2035 is 50,000 tons at 16,000 Saudi riyals per ton, which is 820 million. The risk scenario is 20% capacity loss due to the equipment failure, which is around 10,000 tons, and the replacement cost is 164 million Saudi riyals. The takeaway, the MSW treatment is complex plan for system distribution early. The future project must focus on reliability and strong maintenance. So here for the paper and plastic reduction scenario analysis, for 1,700 tons, 1 ton is equal to 1,850 Saudi riyal, which comes, the 1,700 tons comes to 3 million Saudi riyals. The risk scenario is 25% capacity loss, which is 425 tons, due to supply chain instability. Then the replacement cost is 785,000 Saudi riyals. The takeaway is the market is a real threat. Plan for it early. Future projects need strong, resilient supply chains. So as you can see here, the MVP calculations for the green MSW treatment, the capex is 820 million, cash flow is 11 billion, the WACC is 8.14%, MVP is 10 billion, and then for the paper and plastic reduction, capex is 419,000, cash flow is 29 million, the WACC is 8%, and MVP is 29 million. And the insight, both projects are profitable, but MSW treatment has a much longer impact. So here we have the what if analysis. For the gain MSW treatment, the capex is 820 million, the opex is 216 million, the MVP is 11 billion, and the MAC is 200,000 tons. The paper and plastic reduction, the capex is 419,000, OPEX is 2 million, the MVP is 33 million, and the MAC is 25,000 tons. So here we have the payback rule. The annual cash flow is 1.18 billion. The payback period is 8 months. The return is very fast and favorable. That's for the green MSW treatment. For the paper and plastic reduction, the annual cash flow is 3.25 million. The payback period is a year and 5 months, and the return exceptionally fast payback. So here we have the discounted payback rule. The green MSW treatment, the discount cash flow is 1.07 billion. The payback period is 9 months. The result is still a strong return after discounting. The paper and plastic reduction, the discount cash flow is 2.95 million. The payback period is a year and 7 months. The result, excellent, fast return even when discounted.